In previous episodes, I've covered movies where comets have brought danger to Earth. For Maximum Overdrive, a comet turned machines into people killers, and with the movie Life Force, a comet brought sexy space vampires who wanted to overtake the Earth. In 1984, Night of the Comet featured a comet that either turned people into dust or into zombies. We'll take a look back at this sci-fi comedy horror film on the next Back to the Feature.
Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Just before Christmas, the Earth is going to be passing through the tail of a comet that was last seen 65 million years ago, which also happens to be about the time the dinosaurs disappeared. Most people are excited to check out the promised light show, while some others make the connection about the dinosaurs and decide it's best to hide out underground during the comet visit. At the local theater, we meet one of the employees named Regina, played by Mary Stewart. She got her start on Days of Our Lives and starred in The Last Starfighter earlier the same year. She'll be the star of our show tonight, and she kicks ass at playing the video game Tempest. That's right, guys. Pretty girls that play video games existed back in the 80s. We meet Regina's younger sister Samantha, played by Kelli Maroney, who also got her start on a soap opera, Ryan's Hope. Samantha is stuck at home helping her evil stepmother Doris host a neighborhood block party to watch the comet. The girl's dad is active military and away on assignment, leaving Doris behind to openly cheat on him. Samantha calls out Doris for cheating on her dad, and each one takes a turn slapping the other. Doris ups the ante by full-on punching young Samantha right in the kisser, knocking her on her ass. Doris joins her boyfriend outside with all of the neighbors as the light show begins. Meanwhile, Regina is having sexy time with her boyfriend Larry back in the projection booth. The next morning, a reddish haze covers the sky. The entire city is quiet. There's no traffic, no people, no sign of life at all. At the block party, all of the food is still laying out on the tables, but no people. There are small piles of clothes and red dust everywhere, though. I love how the camera even pans over to the dress Doris was wearing. Now it's just laying there with piles of red dust where her limbs were. Same with her boyfriend Chuck. Larry goes out the back door of the theater and gets whacked in the head by a zombie. So much for Larry. Regina returns to the Tempest game to knock another player off the list of top 10 scores. Some jackass who goes by the initials DMK is stopping her from having all top 10 scores. You might say she's a bit obsessed. She peeks out the front door and gets her first look at the new world. She sees all the clothes laying everywhere and notices the red smog. She accidentally locks herself out, so she has to go around back. But that door is locked as well, and then she finds Larry's keys and a bloody wrench. She hears a strange sound coming from down the alley, so she walks down and sees Larry's motorcycle is still parked there. The zombie dude jumps out from behind some trash to scare her, but she stays surprisingly calm. And oh yeah, these zombies talk. It looks like her military dad taught Regina how to fight. When zombie dude tries to attack her, she's able to fight him off and take off on the motorcycle. Yep, the pretty arcade game playing girl also rides a motorcycle. She rides through the desolate streets of downtown LA, dodging the piles of clothes and dust. She eventually makes it back to her house and no one is there to greet her. She makes her way upstairs where she runs into Samantha, who managed to survive the night because she hid from Doris in a lawn storage shed. Of course, Samantha has no idea what's going on, even though she can't get anyone on the phone. Regina drags her outside and shows her all the clothes. She then shows her what's left of Doris and Chuck. It takes a minute, but it finally starts to sink in, and Samantha isn't dealing with it very well. She's in denial, but then the DJ on the radio starts talking. So Regina and Samantha jump in the car and drive to the radio station. No one is there, but the music is still playing. They look around and find it's all automated. What's not automated is a guy named Hector who confronts them with a gun. His first order of business is to have them step into the light. They find it weird, but we in the audience know he's checking for zombies. He's new in town and tells them how one of the zombies killed the girl he was with, and he's been hiding in the radio station ever since. It hits Regina that the zombie that attacked her most likely killed Larry. Samantha starts playing with the buttons and switches off the programmed tape and goes live on the air. She turns into Wolfman Jack and starts spinning the records herself. Regina and Hector start plotting a plan when Samantha rushes in telling them that someone called into the station. When they return to the phone, the caller is no longer there, but the three continue to talk about it and their conversation is still being broadcast. Listening in is a group of scientists who hid out in an underground bunker. Their leader, Dr. Carter, played by Jeffrey Lewis, wants to go get the trio and bring them back for study. But one of the other scientists, Audrey White, played by Mary Warnow, is against the idea. We then learn that even people that were partially exposed to the comet will eventually turn to dust. Dr. Carter overrules Audrey and they plan to go after them the next day. Samantha goes for a joyride and gets pulled over by Zombie John and Ponch. She pulls over but starts freaking out because she's only 16 and drinking and driving without a license. When the zombie cop approaches her door, things escalate quickly. She sees his face and freaks out. It's too late because he's already grabbing onto her and not letting go. As she struggles to get free, his hand starts to come apart and bleed all over her face. And then, psych, she wakes up. It was all a dream. Well, she's awake now, so she goes into the bathroom to wash up. She strips down to her underwear and then gets grabbed from behind from the zombie cop. He pulls out a switchblade and then, psych, she wakes up. It was all a dream. The next day, Hector goes off to San Diego to check on his family. He makes it back to his mom's house, but it looks like no one survived. He's attacked by a zombie kid, but can't bring himself to shoot him, so he escapes out the window. Back at the bunker, Audrey is running numbers on the computer, and it looks like she might be suffering from mild comet exposure herself as she struggles to write words on her notepad. Dr. Carter wants her to go to LA to get blood samples from the survivors, and as she's leaving, a couple of young child survivors are arriving for testing. Regina and Samantha decide to go shopping, so we get a musical montage as they raid some clothing stores. Nothing like a little retail therapy to deal with the end of times. As they shop, there's a creeper watching them on the security cameras, and it turns out the creeper has his own little gang of creepers. The girls quickly figure out that they're not alone when the lights go out and the creeper greets them on the intercom. Unfortunately for them, the creeper's got a hold of one of their guns. Regina still has hers though, and soon the store becomes the OK Corral. Lots of bullets are flying, but nobody can hit shit. Just lots of mannequins and glass cases getting shot to hell. Eventually though, their luck runs out and the girls are captured. All of the creepers are wearing sunglasses indoors. When the leader takes his off, you can see that they're suffering from comet exposure. The zombie effect is starting to kick in. And just as the creeper is about to shoot Sam, the scientists and their security sneak in and kill him and his cronies. The girls are freed, and Oscar, one of the scientists, thinks that Samantha is done for because she has a rash. Audrey agrees to stay behind to, take care of Samantha and to wait for Hector's return so he can be tested as well. Regina leaves on the helicopter while Audrey gives Samantha a shot under the pretense that it will help with her rash. It's only a few seconds before she's out. Oscar and her then have a disagreement about how to proceed, and she ends up pulling a gun and killing him. Hector returns to LA in style. He left his big rig behind and returns dressed as Santa and driving a sweet old Buick convertible. He makes his way back to the radio station, and while Regina and Samantha aren't there, Audrey is. Audrey admits that she's struggling. She's now wearing sunglasses in the dark room, and she explains to Hector how her team was exposed. It turns out they left the ventilation ducts open and the fans running in their bunker. She estimates that all of her people will be dust in about 36 hours. She then gives herself a lethal injection and dies. Back at the bunker, Dr. Carter is interviewing Regina, basically taking her medical history. But eventually Dr. Carter starts acting strange and puts on sunglasses. And of course this triggers Regina and she starts asking her own questions. She asks about Samantha and Dr. Carter straight up tells her that she's dead. Turns out the scientists are draining the blood from the survivors they bring back in the hopes of developing a serum to cure the comet exposure. The two young children and Regina are next on the list of blood donors. Regina brains one of the scientists with a keyboard and escapes her holding room just as Hector shows up at the outer gate of the compound. He has a bit of a chat with the security guard and shows him what he has in his trunk. He brought Samantha's body with him and explains that she ain't dead after all. Seems Audrey only gave her a strong sedative to fake her death. They both attack the guard and knock him out. Inside the bunker, the keyboard victim sounds the alarm by getting on the overhead speakers to let everyone know that Regina is on the loose. Hector is outside and he hears it too. Regina doesn't realize it, but she's hiding in the room where the survivors are being drained of blood. When she sees what's going on, it's too late to do anything as she's quickly captured again. Outside, Hector is rigging up some dynamite while Samantha makes her way inside. Just before the kids are given sedatives, Samantha pulls the power. This gives Regina a chance to escape, but her first stop is rescuing the kids. Samantha interrupts the rescue and Regina almost shoots her by mistake. The power outage turns off the life support systems and the current donors die. Dr. Carter isn't giving up though because he still has the kids and Regina. At least that's what he thinks. When he goes to check on the progress with the kids, he finds they're gone and the two nurses are strapped to the gurneys with the gas mask taped to their faces. Regina, Samantha, and the two kids jump in the elevator and get topside just as Hector pulls up in his car. He drives off but stops nearby. Dr. Carter and the remaining people from the bunker come outside and Hector decides to be a smartass and flip them off. Actually, Hector was just trying to get them to come after him. It turns out that the dynamite he was rigging up earlier was to their cars. When they go to start them, kaboom! So yeah, they're dead. Hector, Regina, and Samantha get out of the car to watch the other cars burn. I'm not sure if they were thinking about roasting marshmallows or what, but they left the kids alone in the car so one of the zombie scientists could snatch one of them up. When she screams, the trio comes to the rescue and Hector shoots him dead. Yeah, maybe don't leave the little kids unattended anymore. Back in LA, the rain washes all the red ash away. After the storm clears out, it's all happy time now. Regina has the kids all dressed up and she's taking family photos. They're all dressed up in their Sunday best, and Regina and Hector are now a couple playing parents to the kids. They're on the opposite side of the street from Samantha, but Regina won't cross until the light changes. Samantha thinks that's pretty stupid since there's no traffic and no people. To prove her point, she runs out into the middle of the street where she's almost immediately run over. The universe has smiled on her as the driver of the car is a young man about her age. He invites her to go for a ride and she jumps at the opportunity. But before they leave, Hector wants to know his name. He replies Danny Mason Keener. And in case you didn't catch it, as he drives off, the license plate says DMK. The end. I really enjoyed this movie when it came out. It's just a fun little movie that has a bit of everything in it. It's got a mass extinction event, zombies, mad scientist, and Mary Stewart. It's also a movie that doesn't take itself too seriously. It did fairly well at the box office, but never managed to get a sequel, which I think is a shame. There's plenty of stories that could be told as our plucky survivors navigate the new world. If you were one of the last survivors, what would be the first thing you'd do? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, please hit the like and subscribe buttons below to help grow this channel. I appreciate you taking time out of your day and hope you will come back for the next Back to the Feature.
Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.